Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips team leaders to lead through the challenges they face every day. So today, I want to talk about setting goals and how 2022 is only 31 days away. That's if you're watching this on December 1st. So there's basically no better time than right now to start thinking about what you want to achieve next year. Of course, if you have goals, you probably want to continue working on them. And back on November 1st, I basically gave you an 8-week plan on how to achieve your end of year goals before the new year. And I also challenged you to make a list, to dream big and make a list and dream your biggest dream and just write them down. Brainstorm. Don't cross anything off, just write them down. So if you missed that, I think it's episode 162. Go back and watch that. It says goals start here or something like that. It's already time, maybe. Now, I have a few tips to share that will continue on with that list that you built back in November 1st or throughout the month of November. So if you missed it, go back and listen. Now I'm going to offer these tips, but I'm also going to offer you a free guide, and it's a one-page goals worksheet that you can download right now for free. And you can download that by going to currentleadershipcoaching.com/goals or click on the link in today's show notes. Now, like I said, back on November 1st, I told you how to create your 8-week goals to accomplish those end-of-year goals. And I told you to dream big and create this list. Now, all goals start as a dream. Did you know that? I mean, a dream becomes a goal when you establish a firm plan on how to get to it and you tag a deadline on it. Because then that dream, that plan is to make that dream a reality. And that plan is to achieve that dream. So you make it a goal. And that goal basically, once it gets a deadline, then you can hold yourself accountable, or you can come up with other accountability tools to make sure that you're going to achieve that goal. And this is an easy program on how to set up goals. Now let's get back to this list. So hopefully you have this list of big dreams that you have, and it could be anything from a small dream to a huge dream, but you have this list of dreams that you want to achieve. You see yourself achieving that. Now what I want you to do is narrow that list down to your realistic dreams. So what on that dream list can you really see yourself achieving? Now the key is here that make sure you don't sell yourself short, because you can achieve huge goals. Those huge dreams can become realistic goals. They might be realistic dreams. And remember, these are your dreams that are going to become your goals. So be careful not to listen to too many people when you have wild, crazy dreams that you want to turn into goals, because there's a lot of people that are going to say, man, you're crazy. You're only dreaming. And you know what? They can do that. Let them say that. But don't be discouraged by that, because you can do it. You can achieve a lot more than you give yourself credit for, and a lot more than what other people give you credit for, because this is something that you're doing. So make sure you don't sell yourself short. And the bottom line is, if you can see it, you can be it or do it. An old mentor of mine, Chief Bob Vasquez, told me that a long time ago. And man, I'll never forget that. If you can see it, you can be it. And it doesn't matter if anybody else can see it or not. It's what the chief used to tell me, because it's not their dreams. It's not their goals. It's your personal goals. You can see it. Now we just got to figure out how to get there. So now that you've narrowed down this big dream list into the realistic ones, I want you to pick your top 3 to 5 on that list that you think you can achieve within the next year by the end of 2022. Now, here's where it begins to get a little bit more realistic, because you really need to think about what you can realistically accomplish in 2022. So for instance, if you want to make $1 million, if you want to earn $1 million a year salary, and you're making 50K right now a year, it's kind of unrealistic to think that you can stay where you're at and go from 50,000 a year to $1 million a year, right? That's unrealistic. Now, that might be a long-term goal, and that's cool. Or you may have some other plan of attack where you're going to go off and be an entrepreneur and you got a great idea and you're going to become an overnight success. Hey, that's your dream. That's a goal. If it's realistic, put it on that narrow it down to be one of those 3 or 5 goals. So these 3 or 5 top goals that you believe that you can achieve within the next year, they are now your 2022 top 3 to 5 goals. Okay? Simple as that. And they came directly from your dream list. Now, that's all I want you to do today. Narrow down that list. You're going to dream big, which hopefully you've already done. You're going to narrow that list down to what's realistic on that list. And don't ever do this in one setting, because you need a little bit of buffer between the time that you're dreaming big and putting everything down on paper and really starting to narrow it down to what's realistic and what's not. Because if you jump right into narrowing down that dream list, you're probably not even going to write it down. So that's why I told you back on November 1st to start working on that. If you just start working on that, dream big today, write down that list, and then give it a few days, and then come back and narrow it down to what's realistic and what's not. And then pick your top 3 to 5, which will become your 2022 goals. Okay? So next week, I'm going to provide additional guidance on how you can make these 2022 goals a reality. And like I said earlier, this is a rather simple plan if you stick to it. That's the key. So be sure to come on back next week, and I'm going to give you the next steps. All right. I'm going to give you a couple steps. It'll be next week sometime. I'm not sure which day, but listen next week to find out how you can make your 2022 goals that you just determined a reality. And just stew on them a while. It may take you a few days to narrow it down to your top 3 to 5 that you know that you can realistically achieve in 2022. And make them a little lofty. I don't want you to say, if you're making $50,000 a year now and you want to get to $1 million, I don't want your 2022 goals to say, well, I want to get to 51,000 next year. No, I want you to make it a realistic, lofty goal, something that's going to challenge you and push you. Because that's what goals should do. If we give up on our goals, and just go back to what's easy, well, we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about different accountability steps that I'll teach you. So that's it for today. Make sure you check out the link in today's show notes to get your free 1-page goals worksheet. And it's basically going to break down what I'm talking about on here into a little bit easier terms that you can kind of crank out. But then listen along to the podcast, because there's only so much I can fit on one page. I'm going to go into a lot more details here. All right. Have a great rest of your day. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges.